I get it, you're staring at the wall in your living room, wondering whether a projector is really worth the hype, especially when a big TV already takes up a chunk of the space. You've probably seen those massive home theater setups on YouTube, but the price tag and the fear of a dim image in a room that's anything but a dark home theater keep you from hitting add to cart. I've spent the last few weeks actually wiring the AWOL Aetherion Max 4K Ultra Short-Throw system with its 132-inch screen, and I'm here to tell you what it feels like to live with it day to day, not just what the specs sheet promises. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the thing that makes this bundle stand out is the claim that you don't need blackout curtains. Most short-throw projectors I've tried needed a completely dark room to get a decent picture, which meant either sacrificing natural light or buying pricey curtains. The Aetherion Max comes with a 95% ceiling ambient light rejecting ALR screen that actually pushes a lot of the ambient light up and away from the image. In my bright kitchen dining combo space, big windows, a couple of ceiling lights on, and a TV mounted opposite the wall, I could still see deep blacks and vibrant highlights without cranking the brightness to blinding levels. That alone saved me a few $100s on window treatments and made the whole setup feel more like a natural extension of the room rather than a dedicated movie cave. Now, the installation. Because it's an ultra short-throw projector, you just set it a few inches from the wall, mount the screen, and you're basically done. The bundle includes the screen already tensioned, so you don't have to worry about a sagging surface. The biggest hidden trade-off is the need for a perfectly flat wall. Any imperfections, bumps, uneven paint, or even a slightly warped plaster show up as distortion because the projector is so close. I spent an hour sanding a small dent and repainting that patch before the image looked clean. If you're renting or you have a textured wall, you'll either need to invest in a wall mounting panel or reconsider. When it comes to everyday use, the Aetherion Max shines, pun intended, in a few scenarios. I'm an avid gamer, and the stadium-scale gaming label isn't just marketing fluff. I hooked it up to my PC with a 4K 120Hz feed, and the low input lag something I measured with a frame capture rig felt indistinguishable from a monitor. The huge 132-inch canvas turned first-person shooters into an immersive experience. Enemies appeared on the edge of your vision, and the depth in racing games felt surprisingly real. For sports fans, the vivid highlights claim holds up when I put on a live soccer match. The contrast between the green pitch and the nighttime stadium lights is punchy, and because the screen rejects most ceiling light, the whites of the players' jerseys don't wash out even with the lights on. One area where the Aetherion Max shows its practical limits is in content that isn't native 4K. Most streaming services still push 1080p or compressed 4K, and while the projector upscales, you'll notice a slight softening compared to a true 4K TV. That's not a deal-breaker for most movies, but if you're a pixel pusher who watches a lot of Blu-ray content, the image might feel a touch less razor-sharp than a high-end TV. Also, the fan noise is audible at low volume levels. I could hear it when the room was otherwise quiet, like during a late-night documentary. It's not a roaring jet engine, but it's a soft hum that can become a distraction if you're trying to listen to dialogue at low volume. Turning up the volume or using a soundbar solves it, but it's a factor to keep in mind. Who should consider buying the Aetherion Max? If you have a moderate bright living space and you've been holding off on a projector because you thought you needed a dark room, this is the sweet spot. It's especially good for gamers who want a massive field of view without the latency nightmares of cheaper models, and for families that watch sports or movies together and don't want to sacrifice natural light. The bundle also makes sense if you were already planning to buy a large screen and a separate projector. Getting them together simplifies the matching process and usually works out cheaper than buying each piece individually. Who should skip it? If you live in a tight rental with textured walls, you'll face extra hassle or extra cost to get a flat surface. If you're after the absolute crispest 4K image for a home theater that rivals a dedicated cinema screen, a higher-end 4K TV with HDR might still edge out the projector on sheer pixel fidelity. And if you're extremely sensitive to fan noise or plan to use the setup in a very quiet environment like a bedroom for late-night binge-watching, this might feel a bit intrusive. Let's talk about value beyond the headline specs. The Bright Room Ready claim isn't just marketing.